concluded the study abroad for specific reasons, such as sports and music, seems to result in a much greater language improvement compared to simply learning a language. If the main purpose of your study abroad is to merely study a language, you can do so here in Japan with a pen, notebook, and desk. However, if your purpose is broader than learning a language, you will find yourself gradually achieving your goals and improving your language ability at a much faster rate. Before you know it, you will be meeting new friends, making lifetime memories, and naturally gain language proficiency. With all this considered, studying both a language and other things while being abroad brings a similar achievement. Every former study abroad student that we interview expressed again in confidence to express their opinions in another language in front of native speakers. Furthermore, they all agree that they acquire a strong ability to adapt to different cultures. We believe that it is very important to be involved in the local school community when being abroad and studying a language as an exchange student. Club activities, volunteer works, and attending school-sponsored events are just some examples to reach out and become part of the community you are in. No matter your purpose, one of the best ways to broaden your perspective is to make many friends, talk to many people, ask a lot of questions, attend various events, and to do something interesting. From this coming summer, we all are going to different countries to learn a language. Even so, we will give you our best effort to break out or share and try something to improve our language skills through various experiences that we could never have in Japan. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So next team is Europe Group 1.
Hello everyone, our theme is Europe 1. Our theme are both current education in other countries and the system which can be useful in Japan. The presentation consists of 5 parts. The first, I'm talking about the 3 examples in education system between Japan and Austria, where my professor did research. The first is about small class education. The number of students in Austria is maximally 15. The teacher has no desk, and the distance between the teacher and the student is closer than in Japan. The second class is not teacher second, but student second. The students can ask some question by raising their hands, even during the class. By this system, students can study efficiently. The third, students in Australia is no fear of mistakes. One feature of Japan students is that they are afraid of making mistakes, so they can't ask questions or say their opinions. We should think making a mistake as more optimistic.
Then let's take a look at
Examples of classroom behavior of Japanese students. This graph compares the rates of students who observed during class in 4 countries: Japan, Korea, America, and China. This shows that Japanese students tend to fall asleep in class than students in other countries. In Japan, when students are sleepy or get bored with the class, they doze off in the class. However, in other countries, students don't do that because it's rude and they would not like to waste the money they paid for their education.
When Japanese students have something they don't know, they tend to ask their friends instead of teachers. The most common reason for this is that it is bothersome to ask teachers. They are willing to learn, look at in detail. They are willing to learn, however, they feel that it is hard to speak teachers. It is an obvious result that it will cause problems. Furthermore, some students have it is embarrassing to ask teachers. This highlights the current condition of Japanese students. When it comes to taking notes, Japanese students are the most best note takers in 4 countries. It makes us concentrate on the class and it helps us to prepare for exams. This habit might be good for Japanese students.
Next, I will talk about education to other countries, Germany and Singapore. Firstly, in Germany, students must decide their career options, either enrolling into higher education or entering the workforce. If students who decided to be a worker but want to enroll at a university, they may face difficulty with this system. However, the effect of automatization in workplaces makes the number of workers decreased. Thus, this system is reconsidered and the new education system, which is like Japan and Americans, is spreading in Germany. Secondly, in Singapore, similarly, students must decide their career options after graduating from an elementary school. Singapore, although this system was implemented from 2003, the good result was it achieved the good result already. For example, Singaporean students got the best score on PISA, which is all Asian countries on international test, in 2016. The average of TOEFL was the highest compared to other Asian countries, also in 2016. It can be said that this good effect is generated by the education system. For example, in elementary school, students must take their lesson in both Chinese and English. Also, Singaporean parents tend to devote time and effort for their children. There are many children who study in the Crown School. Furthermore, the level of the class in elementary school is high. Surprisingly, first-year students have acquired the multiplication table.
Next, I'd like to talk about what should improve in Japanese education. There is some points Japan should improve in our class, but the most important thing is increasing the chance to speak up. Speaking up is one of the most important ability for studying abroad as well as in our business. However, in Japan, there isn't a lot of chances to speak up. Thus, I believe that this kind of class should be implemented from elementary school. Finally, I'd like to talk about the system which will be needed in the future of Japan. It is said that the tuition of Japanese university is higher than other developed country, and it is about 5 million yen. For example, in Germany, the tuition of university is only 25% of Japanese tuition. And moreover, Japanese society is career-based society. Thus, in the future, the tuition will increase in the future of Japan. Also, let me see. Moreover, I believe that this matter would decrease the number of studying abroad students because it costs a lot of money. Thus, making education free is beneficial for our society as well as studying abroad. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Next team is Europe Group 2.
Thank you for giving us valuable time. First, I will introduce my group members. Takeya Ujiyama, Keiichi Sugiyama, Yuri Sakai, Aiko Suzuki, and Saki Saito. And the title of our presentation is What is the value of getting variety communication skills for globalization? We will start with the presentation. We thought to understand the characteristics of overseas communication style with leaders to acquiring the benefits of international communication skills while studying abroad.
First, I talk about futures American communication. We think the best for futures American is their active discussion. They can express their opinion in several situations such as school, company, or daily life. When I was in America, I was asked about Japanese politics. I hardly talk about it when I am in Japan. By this active exchange of information, we always think about various matters and have opinion about them without being afraid of mismatching opinions. They always engage in discussion which make it possible for them to be active speakers. Next, the futures of the Japanese communication. With Americans, the Japanese hardly express their opinions. This is because they don't want to change the atmosphere of impression between their friends. The Japanese often hold a public front or read between the lines. This feature makes us possible. There is an obvious difference from the activeness of the Americans to passiveness of the Japanese. Why does this difference exist? It may be something cultural or difference in the school education. Let's think about these factors of education and culture.
Now I will talk about education factor. So what are the difference between education in Japan and US? In Japan, students are more passive. Teachers stand in front of the classroom and lecture students while they remain silent. In addition, the most important thing of Japan education system is to make students informed. In order to keep uniformity, there is a tendency to dislike expressing opposing views to other students. Also, there are very few opportunities to express their opinion and discuss them with other students. On the other hand, the education system is different in the US, where diverse ethnic groups with various cultures and values are gathered. Therefore, they need to express their own opinion and views. In US, students have the opportunity to present in front of the class starting from elementary school. Because of these kinds of practices, students are more communicative and can express themselves.
In this section, I will talk about cultural factor. We think that differences in how people think and behave at their surroundings. The Japanese think harmony with others is most important. The Japanese, they are expected to sense the mood and are not used to expressing their opinions clearly. Furthermore, some Japanese think they are attacking others by making objections, so they try to soften their objections by agreeing with them. Furthermore, in Japan, there are words such as honne and tatemae. Hiding honest opinion is often done to harmonize with others around them. Unlike Japan, there are other multi-ethnic countries in the world. In those countries, in general, they are not afraid to clash with someone over opinions to get better ideas. Moreover, they understand discussion is a place where views are expressed, so they do not hesitate to give constructive criticism to each other.
When Japanese psychologist Dr. Hiroaki Enomoto said traditionally, Japanese are good at listening and put themselves in others' position. Also, they are not expressing themselves clearly to avoid conflicts. When friction and clash of opinions happen, it is important to have someone listen well and settle the disputes. However, he also says Japanese style communication also has problems because too much suppression of individual opinions may give stress to them and kill their individuality. As we mentioned before, we characterize the American communication as no hesitation to express their opinions and not afraid of mismatching opinions. Of course, expressing opinions clearly and discussing ideas well are very good. However, sometimes heated discussion can be hostile, argumentative, and lacking morale.
In our previous sections, we talked about some of Japanese and other countries' characteristics and its context. So what can we learn from other countries' communication? There is no good or bad way of communication. Any country or culture has its good point and there are lots to learn from them. The biggest value of study abroad is to learn something new and to create your own way of communication. The most important thing is to be flexible and to facilitate in communication. This summer we will start our study abroad. We need to create my own communication styles, and what we learn from this presentation will be good knowledge in the future. So, study abroad will be first step toward becoming a global student who can influence the world. Thank you for listening. This is all for my presentation.
Thank you so much. Now next, North American Group 2. Please come to the floor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming today. My name is Mayu Hoshino. I'm going to study at University of Alberta from this school.
I'm Taiga Sato. I'm going to go to Harvard College in the United States of America.
My name is Kanako Kuboi. I'm going to study at University of Alberta at Canada.
My name is Yai Hirasawa. I'm going to study at California State University, California.
As you know, in these days, the number of young people who wish to study abroad has increased due to globalization. But what can we get and how can we change by studying abroad? And to know this, today we are going to talk about impact and change caused by study abroad. We interviewed three people: a Japanese student, a full-time worker who studied abroad, and former international students. We asked them what they learned and how they changed before and after they completed their study abroad. Then we thought about how the experience of study abroad helps us when we look for jobs or go out into the world.
First, we will discuss the student who has studied abroad. She's my part-time job coworker, and she is job-seeking student. She was always friendly and easy to talk to, but lacked assertiveness. That's why she decided to study abroad. From this experience, she learned several lessons. To begin with, she came to be able to state her opinion confidently, because every time she attends class, the professor asked her, "What do you think?" It is said that Japan has a high context culture. This refers to complex behaviors and norms, which rely heavily on non-explicit rules that members are expected to know implicitly. In this regard, she says it was a good situation because she had to voice her opinion in order to improve herself. Another lesson that is learned from studying abroad is attaining a flexible way of thinking. Because of multicultural circumstances, the local people where she studied naturally accepted different values and respected the right of others. It reminds her that it's okay that everyone has their own opinion. The local people take it for granted that everyone has their own opinion and are able to say it. This situation also prompted her to acquire a flexible way of thinking. As a result, these lessons are very helpful for her job hunting. She told me that she was able to pass the interview of one company with her full of confidence, thanks to this experience.
Secondly, I'd like to talk about a full-time worker who has experience of studying abroad. She felt that it was very important to have and say her own opinions in some situations in the US. In the US, not having your own opinion means that the person is thought to be weak-willed. So she came to think about various things deeply and to always have her own opinions. In addition, she noted it's not shameful to say her opinions. She was reluctant to speak her mind to somebody before studying abroad, but she changed her perspective later. She told me that was the main change of her personality. This change made her comfortable when she went out into the world, she said. When she did job hunting, she could answer unpredictable questions because she gained a variety her knowledge through her experience. Also, she stated her opinions and asked her bosses questions without hesitation. As a result, she can receive a high evaluation from her bosses. After she started her working, she developed her character and noticed it's important to have own opinions and express them. That change made her comfortable in her daily life and at her workplace. Finally, she said that the person who is good at speaking English not only has English skills, but also the ability to communicate with others.
I interviewed an American student who studied at Seijo University for a year. He said he now has wider views because he was exposed to diverse culture while in Japan. He said he could learn the culture of many countries, including Japanese, by meeting Japanese people and international students from other countries, like the difference between Japanese and Chinese culture, as well as American and British culture. While learning cultural difference, he realized every country has their own customs and values. Moreover, he has become interested in the cultural backgrounds of others, especially he meets for the first time. In that way, it would be easier to establish rapport and communication. By knowing cultural difference, he could get various points of views as he met a lot of people from now on. This study abroad experience was necessary for him by working in global companies.
Now let us summarize the main points of today's presentation. First, you will be able to accept the diversity of culture by studying abroad. Also, by knowing other cultures, it makes communication easier. Second, develop your independent behavior. In the situation of studying abroad, you must act on your own. And finally, both Japanese and international students went through changes after studying abroad. In particular, it seems that Japanese students became social and independent. From these facts, we learned that the experience of studying abroad had a positive influence. Before studying abroad, this is a good opportunity for us to understand the experience of those we interviewed. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for kind attention.
Thank you so much. And finally, the last group we have is North America Group 1. Please come to the front. Team Europe 2. Sorry.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We are Team Europe 2. At first, I will introduce our team members. First, thanks. Don't worry. First, I'm Masahiro Kasahara. I will go University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, in United States. Second, she is Shiori Kiryu. She will go to Catholic University of Leuven. Third, she is Amane Takagi. She will go to United States of Sheffield. She is Kie Inoue. She will go to University of Strasbourg. She is Erika Saito. She will go to Friedrich Alexander University. Please enjoy our presentation.
Today, I'm here to talk about connection with others. Do you think what is the most important thing besides language skill when we go abroad? We think connecting with others is most important thing. Since we all have different backgrounds and native languages, so it is difficult to understand each other. But when we overcome difficult, we can build a strong relationship. So what should we do? We interviewed 3 people who have lived abroad. Knowing what they did to connect with others will be our guide.
About the case of exchange student, I interviewed 2 French international students Rwanda. She decided to study abroad for the purpose of improving her
Japanese language skill